The character of Helen of Troy, immortalized in Greek mythology as the catalyst for the Trojan War, is a tapestry woven with intricate complexities. Her beauty, legendary in its power, was said to have ignited the flames of conflict between the Greeks and Trojans, yet her true nature extended far beyond mere physical allure. Helen's lineage traced back to Zeus himself, who, in the guise of a swan, seduced or assaulted her mother, Leda. Leda's subsequent birth of 4 children from 2 eggs laid after a fateful night with both Zeus and her husband, Tyndareus, added further layers to the enigmatic nature of Helen's origins. From one egg emerged the semi-divine Helen and her twin brother, Polydeuces, while the second egg bore the human Clytemnestra and her twin Castor. These Dioscuri, the sons of Zeus, became revered protectors of sailors, symbolizing the divine favor bestowed upon Helen. Helen and Clytemnestra, as daughters of Zeus, played pivotal roles in the narrative of the Trojan War, their destinies inextricably entwined with the conflict that would shape the course of history. Helen of Troy, destined from birth to be the most beautiful woman in the world, was a pivotal figure in Greek mythology. Her unrivaled beauty became a catalyst for both admiration and tragedy. As a child, Helen was abducted by the hero Theseus, but her twin brothers, the Dioscuri, swiftly rescued her. Upon reaching adulthood, Helen's hand in marriage was sought by numerous suitors, eventually leading to her union with Menelaus, the king of Sparta. However, Helen's love for Menelaus proved to be fragile. At a grand gathering on Mount Olympus, the goddess of discord, Eris, sowed chaos by tossing an apple inscribed, "For the most beautiful among the goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite." Zeus, seeking to avoid a conflict among the goddesses, tasked Paris, the prince of Troy, with the unenviable task of choosing the recipient of the apple. Each goddess attempted to sway Paris' decision through promises of power, victory, or the love of Helen. Paris, lured by the allure of Helen's beauty, bestowed the apple upon Aphrodite, the goddess of love. This fateful choice sparked a chain reaction, leading to the abduction of Helen by Paris and the outbreak of the Trojan War, a conflict that would forever etch her name in the annals of legend. Paris embarked on a perilous journey to claim her prize. Arriving at Menelaus' luxurious court in Sparta, Paris was welcomed as a guest under the ancient laws of hospitality. However, his intentions were far from honorable. With cunning and deceit, Paris seduced Helen, the alluring wife of Menelaus, and together they fled to the distant shores of Troy. Helen's feelings towards Paris were a complex tapestry of doubt and desire. Roman poet Ovid, in a fictional letter penned by Helen, captured her in her turmoil. She questioned her loyalty to Menelaus and grappled with the allure of Paris' charm. However, her fate was sealed when Paris whisked her away to Troy, a brazen act that violated the sacred laws of hospitality. Menelaus' rage knew no bounds. He rallied his brother, Agamemnon, and assembled a formidable Greek army to lay siege to Troy and reclaim his beloved wife. However, the true nature of Helen's abduction remains shrouded in mystery. According to Herodotus, Stesichorus, and Euripides, a fierce storm stranded Helen and Paris in Egypt. There, the benevolent king rescued Helen from Paris and returned her to Troy. In this version, Helen was revered as the foreign Aphrodite in Egypt, while the Greeks mistakenly believed she was in Troy, a deception perpetuated by paintings. Menelaus, upon learning the truth, embarked on a arduous journey to Egypt and reunited with Helen after the Trojan War. Herodotus believed this version to be more credible arguing that Troy would have returned Helen to avoid his own destruction. Nonetheless, the enduring legend of Helen's abduction by Paris remains a captivating tale of love, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of broken promises. As the relentless Trojan War neared its tumultuous end, Helen of Sparta found herself consumed by remorse and yearning. Triggering the decade-long conflict with her elopement with Paris, she carried the weight of countless lives lost. Despite being admired for her unparalleled beauty by the Trojans, their suffering gnawed at her heart. In Virgil's Aeneid, Aeneas cast blame upon Helen, contemplating murder as retribution for the catastrophe that had befallen Troy. However, King Priam extended kindness towards her, recognizing her anguish and allowing her to aid in identifying Greek soldiers from the city walls, despite her longing for home. Helen's pivotal role in the war was showcased in the duel between Paris and Menelaus. Paris faced imminent defeat before Aphrodite intervened, eternally indebted to him for choosing her as the fairest among the goddesses. Humiliated by her powerlessness against Paris, Helen expressed her shame, vanquishing Aphrodite's advances. Paris, whose choice of Aphrodite's love over Athena's wisdom and courage proved fateful, emerged as a tragic figure. His eventual slaying of Achilles with an arrow was met with swift retribution, leaving him to die alone. Paris' first wife, Oenon, possessed the power to heal him but chose to let him perish, consumed by regret, and ultimately taking her own life. Helen's story reveals her entanglement in the web of conflicts and tragedies that defined the Trojan War. Yet, it also highlights the interconnectedness of the characters involved, each bound by the consequences of their own choices. Paris' flawed judgment and Oenon's vengeful desperation serve as poignant reminders of the human frailties that can lead to ruin. Helen, once the object of desire and the catalyst for war, ultimately becomes a symbol of the profound suffering and loss that can arise from love, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of glory. The conclusion of the Trojan War and the fate of Helen, the iconic figure at its heart, are recounted in Greek mythology with varying interpretations. In the traditional account, the Greeks employed a ruse involving a colossal wooden horse, concealing their warriors within its hollow in tibia. Upon its entry into Troy, the Greek soldiers emerged under the cover of darkness, wreaking havoc upon the unsuspecting city. Helen, once again playing a pivotal role, assisted the Trojans in verifying the horse's emptiness. However, her actions ultimately proved fruitful as the Greek warriors emerged victorious, leading to Troy's downfall. In the aftermath of Paris' demise, Helen found herself married to Deiphobus, her brother. The arrival of Menelaus and Odysseus, however, marked a treacherous turn of events. Helen, driven by a desire to protect her new husband, led them to this hiding place, resulting in his brutal murder. Euripides, in his play Orestes, offers an alternative narrative. In this version, Helen is relentlessly pursued by Orestes, her vengeful nephew, but is miraculously rescued by Apollo and transported to Olympus. There she is reunited with her twin brother, the Dioscuri, who has ascended to the heavens as the constellation Gemini. Euripides' Helen is ultimately transformed into an immortal goddess, a stark departure from her previous portrayal. The character of Helen in Greek mythology presents a multifaceted enigma. She is simultaneously a victim and a villain, a loyal wife and a heartless adulteress. Over the centuries, authors and playwrights have infused her legend with new dimensions, shaping the enigmatic Helen of Troy known today.